It is 7 o'clock on Monday, October 4th, 2021, and we'll call this meeting of the Sault Ste. Marie City Commission to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Gary,
Here.
Commissioner Bauer,
Here.
Commissioner Bospis-Rath, Commissioner Collins, Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Talentino,
Here.
Commissioner Twardy.
Here.
We did receive calls from Commissioner Bospis-Rath, Commissioner Miller, and Commissioner Collins that they were under the weather and not able to attend this evening, so we need a motion to excuse.
So moved.
Oh,
Support?
Sure.
Been moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
They are excused. Glad everybody else is healthy and able to attend. If everybody could please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Item 4, Mayor comments and general announcements. This evening we have Gabriel Meindertsma, who's a second-year political science major at Lake Superior State University and is active in the LSSU student body here with us, and he's going to be observing the meetings going forward, and we welcome him, and I don't know if you wanted to say any, no? Okay, so he's good to go, but welcome, Gabe. We appreciate the student body involvement. Under item B, we do have a proclamation on National Friends of Libraries Week, and here to accept it is Jean Wellington and Barb Seawright. So if you'd like to come to the podium, we'll... Oops, sorry. All right. So the City of Sault Ste. Marie, this is National Friends of Libraries Week proclamation. Whereas Friends of the Bayless Public Library raise money that enables our library to move from good to great, providing the resources for additional programming, much needed equipment, support for children's summer reading, and special events throughout the year. And whereas the work of the Friends highlights on an ongoing basis the fact that our library is the cornerstone of the community, providing opportunities for all to engage in the joy of lifelong learning and connect with thoughts and ideas of others from ages past to the present. And whereas the Friends understand the critical importance of well-funded libraries and advocate to ensure that our library gets the resources it needs to provide a wide variety of services to all ages, including access to print and electronic materials, along with expert assistance in research, readers advisory, and children's services. Whereas the Friends' gift of their time and commitment to the library sets an example for all in how volunteerism leads to positive civic engagement and the betterment of our community. Now therefore be it resolved that I do hereby proclaim October 17th through 23rd, 2021 as Friend of Libraries Week in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and urge everyone to join the Friends of the Bayless Public Library and thank them for all they do to make our library and community so much better. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan to be affixed this 4th day of October, 2021. Don Gary, Mayor.
My name's Barb Seawright. Jeannie is the past president and the mover and shaker of this organization. Before I start reading what someone gave me to read, I want you to know that, see this gray hair? All right. It tells you I'm up there. I want you to know that these women are really up there. I mean, there's about 15 that are the standard who show up for everything. They lug boxes of books. They put books out. They put books in. They make things for the auction. They provide food and treats for the Valentine's Day program. In other words, these are people who are your grandmothers, maybe even great-grandmothers for some of them. And they are out there doing this work because they believe so strongly in the library. And then, unfortunately, sometimes when they pass on, they leave a legacy to the library. So, or their spouse does. So I think that's a critical element of the community that I think you should be aware of. You have gray hair too, you should come down.
Not a grandfather yet, though.
Okay, well, okay. Yeah, I know your wife. All right. Anyway, thank you for this proclamation. We appreciate you drawing attention to the National Friends of the Library Week, Friends of Libraries Week, and our local Friends of Bayless Public Library group. The first Friends group began here in 1961 at the old Carnegie Library, is that right? I don't know where this is. Anyway, I'm a transplant. The group was reorganized and revitalized in 1990 at Bayless Public Library and has remained active since then, supporting and engaging and enhancing the library. Our Friends group has donated over $87,000. That's a lot of money, folks, for books, used books, 25 cents, 10 cents, 15 cents, okay, you get the point. To purchase for the library in the past 31 years. In the past 2 years, we have purchased personal protection equipment, such as masks, you know, those stand back 6 feet signs, all that. A book cart, laser printer, summer reading program supplies, which is no small thing, because if we did not purchase the supplies, the library probably would not have enough money for summer programs for kids in terms of the supplies that they need to do the activities that they do. So we're really pleased with that. Books for the children's room and a webcam, among other items. The past 2 years we have been challenging for us as for everyone else. Despite not being able to hold our usual book sales, which are our main fundraisers, we found some new ways to fundraise, such as holding our silent auction online and doing a bankless, I vote for that, volunteer day sweet sale. We are excited to be holding our first book sale in almost 2 years this coming Friday and Saturday. That's an advertisement. You guys should show up. Friday and Saturday, this coming. We also hope to soon reopen our coffee bar inside the library, which is a really cool thing if you're into coffee like I am. And also you can buy a ticket for someone who comes along later to get coffee. Thank you for this opportunity to bring awareness to the Friends of Bayless Public Library and to encourage support of our fine local and district library.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Barb and Jean. So we'll move on to C, public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments on any of our agenda items this evening? Anybody that would like to speak to any of our agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on into item D, which is the consent agenda. So Deputy City Manager Robin Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Under the consent agenda, 1, approval of the City Commission meeting minutes of September 20th, 2021. Item 2 is acceptance of the DPW Unit PEHP Board meeting minutes of August 10th, 2021. Item 3 is acceptance of the Firefighters Captain PEHP Board meeting minutes of August 24th. Item 4 is acceptance of the Police Command PEHP Board meeting minutes of August 24th. Item 5 is acceptance of Police Patrol Records PEHP Board meeting minutes of August 10th, 2021. Item 6 is acceptance of the Sault Ste. Marie Housing Commission meeting minutes of August 26th, 2021. Item 7 is appointment of Stephen Menta to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a term to expire June 1, 2023. Item 8 is authorization or authorize the purchase of generic time from MERS by Bren Methner. Item 9 is authorize the purchase of generic time from MERS by Tyler Perrin. Item 10 is scheduled public hearing for single lot special assessment rolls SL-2N-21 and SL-2W-21, and a note on that, an updated roll was placed in the agenda for the Commission's consideration today after some payments were made since the agenda packet went out on Thursday. Item 11 is consideration of downtown access and placemaking project budget amendment. Item 12 is consideration for authorization to apply for approximately $50,000 worth of federal assistance to firefighters grant funding. Item 13 is consideration of a service agreement with Mackinac Environmental Technologies for hazardous material spills. Item 14 is a request from Larry Bittner to release easement rights over the full width of approximately 200 linear feet of the previously vacated alley located within Block 1, St. Paul's Addition. And item 15 is approval of the consent agenda items as presented.
Thank you, Deputy City Manager Troy. Or would any commissioner like any of these items further explained or any of them removed for individual consideration? If not, Commissioner Twardy, would you like to make a motion with the updated single lot assessment list?
Please. I move that we approve the consent agenda with the changes for the single lot assessment roll.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Short roll call, please.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy.
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving down into item G, which is business items. Number 1, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up first for commission consideration is a request to purchase a new Life Pack 15 heart monitor. These are our preferred vendors, what we have in all the ambulances. This particular item has 2 motions associated to it. Motion to waive the competitive bidding process and motion to authorize the purchase of 1 new Life Pack in the amount of $37,179.85, including minus a $5,000 rebate.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions for the City Manager? I see the Fire Chief is here in the audience as well. I know we had one of these not too long ago, but Commissioner Twardy.
Just question, how long do typically these life packs last?
Scott with fingers, how many? 15. About 15 years.
All right, that's all. Thank you.
And kick off your shoe.
Yeah. Only 10 fingers, yeah. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Commissioner Bauer, would you like to make them 2 motions?
Yes. Number 1, I move that we waive the competitive bidding process for the purchase of 1 Life Pack 15 heart monitor due to Stryker being a single source provider for the product.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy,
Yes.
Mayor Gary.
Yes. Motion passed unanimously. Thank you. Commissioner Bauer.
I also move that we authorize the purchase of 1 new Life Pack 15 heart monitor from Stryker in the amount of $37,179.85 minus a $5,000 rebate.
Support.
Motion and support. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy,
Yes.
Mayor Gary.
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Motion also passed unanimously. Thank you very much. G, business items. Number 2, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to amend the budget related to the digester cleaning project in the amount of $111,000 of funding coming from the sewer depreciation reserves. This was a project that we had on the books for a number of years now. Sewer Superintendent Masterson started working this project in his part-time role. We originally started off with an emergency repair to the digesters, giving their current or their previous state before the project. The digesters had not been cleaned or repaired in over 40 years, to which they should be on about a 5-year rotation depending on use. So we started into the project, everything was going good. The last digester kind of snuck up on us and put the project over the dollar amount that we originally had in there. So this particular item, looking for amend the budget, $111,000 with the funding coming from the sewer depreciation reserves.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions on this project? Commissioner Bauer.
Yes, since there was an overrun of $111,000, which was basically 46% of the original projection, what was the miscommunication specifically that led to that overrun?
So we were watching the project closely. Brian was giving me updates on the price weekly. And then the last digester, number 4, we didn't know what we were dealing with until we got in there. So we had 40 years worth of sludge, sand. We were actually pulling out structures out of the digester that was framing it when it was originally built. So we were pulling out large chunks of wood, large chunks of metal. And what was happening is it would break the pump that the contractor would have, and then they would have to repair it. They'd start going again. So it just kind of happened really quick in the last little bit of that project there. So we were moving forward. We thought we had it all wrapped up. The contractor thought we had a different dollar amount that was our hard cap, but that wasn't correct. So there was miscommunication between us and the contractor, coupled with the fact that we just found stuff in there that we never anticipated finding ever.
All right.
Good question. Any other questions? Commissioner Twardy?
After this, does this close this portion of the project out?
So with this major activity done, again, these haven't been cleaned in about 40 years. This is the last time we found any records on them. They should be on a 3 to 5 year rotation, depending on how often they get used. So we have 4 of them. What we do is we'll use 2 kind of as a primary, and the other ones kind of back them up. The 2 that are primary should probably be every 3 years. The other 2 should be about every 5 years. So from this point forward, we will rotate a maintenance schedule with them. So we'll never have a large bill like this again. Plus, we won't have 40 years of sand and sludge to pull out. So this is an activity that we'll have to do in the future, but it will never be to this scope as long as Mr. Masterson and I am here, because we won't let 40 years go past again without cleaning it.
Okay, thank you.
Don?
Yes, Commissioner Bauer.
Thanks. Sorry to follow that up, but if we're on say a 5-year schedule from this point on, do we have any idea how much that's gonna cost every 5 years? Because I know how much it costs to, not go for 40 years, which is basically $311,000 every 40 years. So I'm just wondering how much it's gonna cost if we're on the 5-year schedule.
Brian?
I would roughly say $40,000 to $50,000
Every 5 years? Huh,
for one tank.
gotcha.
I mean, you have to consider our condition of our bar screen is letting a lot of stuff through.
Just come on really quick.
It's, unfortunately, the bar screen is not in, it's old. It's 2.5 inches wide. It lets a lot of things through. We have a lot of rags that we get through there. We have a lot of sand. We were down to basically a half a tank we were using until they started cleaning it. So,
When the contractor first started on the first tank, he said it was the worst he'd ever seen until he got to number 2, and then number 3, and then number 4. I mean,
so
they
yes,
were,
the company that did it used to work for a previous company in Michigan, Wisconsin, Synagro. They left. He started his own company. 20 years in the business. And we have the number 1 and number 2 digesters, the worst he's ever seen. So
we had.
They're very clean now, and I was just in one of them the other day. So
Good.
And if you go on the city's Facebook page, we have an inside view of it.
yes, and the rags, like I said, once we get into our upgrade, that should take care of a lot of stuff. We've been cleaning that grit chamber 3 times a year. We've cleaned it 3 times this year, and that's usually full of sand. So we're doing the best we can with what we have down there, and the guys down there are doing an excellent job.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so for anybody on TV that didn't hear the first part, that was Brian Masterson, our wastewater plant superintendent, and he said that the cleaning will be between $40,000 and $50,000 every 5 years. And in the notes and in the analysis, this was funding that came from the sewer depreciation reserve, so it was money set aside for this type of repair, so there will not be any impact today on the rates
Nope.
of the users, so. Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Talentino?
Yes, yeah, I had some questions, but they were all answered within this last couple of communications there. You know, I drive by there every day, I see a lot of stuff going on. I think all of us sitting around here knew we were coming due for a good chunk of money to get some things done and taken care of down there. I think there's more to come that needs to be done down there. I think we're headed in the right direction. That being said, I'll make a motion to amend the digester cleaning project in the amount of $111,000 with funding coming from the sewer depreciation reserves.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Tuarte?
Yes.
Mayor Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino?
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Under business items, number 3.
Thank you,
City
Mr. Mayor. Sorry. Up next for commission consideration is a request to enter an agreement with Nelson Tank Engineering and Consulting Incorporated for the amount of $17,830. This is to do visual inspections of our water towers throughout the water distribution system. Typically, this is a task that is done every 5 years. Our records indicate that it has not been done in a while as well. So starting off, awarding this one, the work will be done and will be put back onto a 5-year rotating schedule. So this project has been budgeted for and there are no anticipated cost overruns. So we look for a motion to award the inspection of the water towers to Nelson Tank Engineering for the amount of $17,830.
Thank you, City Manager. Any questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, Commissioner Tuarte, would you like to take the motion?
Sure. Make a motion to award the inspection of the water towers in Clearwell to Nelson Tank Engineering and Consulting Incorporated for the amount of $17,830.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mayor Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer?
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino?
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarte?
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to G, business items number 4, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to approve a funding mechanism with Eagle for a state revolving loan related to the necessary work for the Water Street and Bingham CSO project. So this is the final step in the process that we initiated with the commission. A month or so ago, we held a public hearing. Engineer Boyle gave a presentation on the project. Commission may be aware the city has been aggressively attacking the CSOs throughout the city since the early 90s. We currently have 3 or 4 of them still open. Complete analysis with staff, we feel that Bingham and Water would have the biggest impact if we were to do that one first. That project involves street rescaping, some sewer work, as well as a lift station in a particular area. To help fund this project, it is a $1.2 million project. To fund the project, we have put in grant applications with the state and federal government. The federal government, through the Army Corps of Engineers, we are anticipating an award of majority of the project. I believe it is, I can't find it. It's a majority of the project. To help bridge the gap with the project, we're requesting authorization to enter into a loan agreement with Eagle for 1.875% for 20 years for about $437,000. It's kind of a small loan, but we kind of need the money so we can get this project off the ground. It's a critical project right now. It is tied to our discharge permit within our sanitary and stormwater system. It's something that Eagle wanted us to have done 5 years ago, but for whatever reason, it did not happen. So we are under the gun from Eagle to try to get this project done as soon as possible. So this particular item has 2 motions to it. The motion to approve the engagement with Eagle for funding in quarter 4.5 for the Water Street CSO project, and a motion to allow city manager to execute the schedule as presented.
Thank you, City Manager. Any questions or comments? Commissioner Tuarte.
Is this going to help at all with the issues that we've been having on Peck Street?
Yes, we do hope that it'll help with those issues. What this project will do is create capacity by removing inflow, I&I, rainwater from the sanitary system. It also incorporates a new lift station that will help push that area kind of in the right direction.
He's giving you the thumbs up. All right, thank you, because
So yes.
that's been a concern, so
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah, we feel this is the bottleneck. Is that right to describe it? Yeah, we feel it's the bottleneck in our system. Man, a few words. We feel it's the bottleneck in our system. So that's why, looking at the 4 projects that are identified, Bingham and Water, Meridian Street, and you're at Eureka Street and Peck Street, Elm Street, and East Portage Avenue, we feel that this is the downstream kind of bottleneck. So if we were to do these improvements here, these other ones, more so Meridian Street and Eureka Street, would really help out with those ones.
All right, great, thank you.
Commissioner Talentino.
Where's the location of that lift station again, that we had talked about in the last meeting?
Maple and Ashman.
Okay, and I assume they'll look like the other lift stations that we have throughout the city?
That well's gonna be in the intersection.
Do you want to introduce yourself for the record, City Engineer Boyle?
All right, so the wet well will be in the roadway, and then we'll have the controls off on, behind the sidewalk, so it'll be a rather deep one, about 30 feet that we have to lift, so it's gonna be a big hole.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And did we say previously this is what, the 4th to last, or 3rd to last, or 2nd to last CSO project? To close
Yeah,
out
there'll
with
be-
3rd to last?
Yep, third to last.
Okay.
Yep.
Commissioner Bauer has a question.
Do we have any idea how long that area is gonna be torn up for?
It'll probably take a couple of months, I'm sure. Because it'll be a deep hole. So there's probably gonna be shoring and everything in there, so it'll take a couple of months. You know, I'm thinking in the 6-week range, so.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Commissioner Tuarty?
So you're obviously talking about East Ashman, right at Ashman and Maple, right there where the brand-new parking lots were put in?
Yeah, but we'll be working out in the street, so we'll be
Okay.
digging up the street mostly, yep.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
That street needs done anyway.
Yeah, we've been talking to the DOT about that already, so.
Yeah, and the sidewalks are pretty bad there too, so.
Yep,
All right, thank you.
okay.
No more brick in the crosswalk, eh?
No more brick in the
No,
crosswalk.
Yeah,
No.
we've already had that discussion.
Nice. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
What's the projected start date?
So we're hoping to start the project this summer. So if we get if we get authorization for the funding lines up from the Army Corps of Engineers, we can start the design and all the legal work and all that stuff. Get that done through winter, spring, let the project probably spring and construct sometime in the summer.
Work it in a friendly time for tourism, but
Yeah.
we'll have to do it so we can get it done too, so.
Well, everything's gotta look worse before it can look better.
That's
So
right,
I
yep.
think people will kinda understand that in the long run.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Dave. Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Bauer, would you like to?
I thought Commissioner oh, no, he didn't. Yeah, I can do it. I move to approve engagement with Eagle for funding in quarter 4.5 for the Water Street CSO project.
Support?
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarty,
Yes,
Mayor Gary.
Yes. Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Bauer.
I further move to allow the city manager to sign the attached schedule as presented.
Support?
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarty,
yes.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Good thing we're agreeable tonight. You couldn't have, everything had to be unanimous. So, under H, city manager announcements and updates. City manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have much tonight. Just heads up, I'll be out of the office a little bit in October on vacation. October 8th, I will be out, and it says October 16th to the 24th, but it may be October 15th to the 24th, so just a heads up.
I'm assuming Deputy City Manager will be in charge.
Deputy City Manager will be sitting in for me at the next
Alright.
meeting. Surprise.
Contentious meeting. I think. Yeah.
This one was easy.
Yeah.
You wait till the 16th.
Saved everything for that meeting. All right, anybody have any questions or comments for City Manager? Moving on to item I, which is matters presented by the public. Is anybody here in the audience that would like to speak to the commission? Seeing none, we'll move on to item J, which is matters presented by the City Commission.
Did you want to
Anybody?
give an update about MML?
Well, I think you could give an update on it. Do you want to give an update?
You want me to?
Sure.
Well, so last week, a couple of commissioners and our city manager, Brian Chapman, traveled down to Grand Rapids, who is hosting the biannual, one of the biannuals, MML conventions. And it's an opportunity for us to get together with other representatives from other municipalities, sit down, brainstorm, come up with great ideas, bring ideas back, and also collaborate. And a couple of things that we were able to accomplish at this one is we are going to be able to host Rosalind Bliss, who's the mayor of Grand Rapids. She's going to come up, and we'd like to give her a tour of potentially of the Sulaks project. She's really excited about that. And then just come in here to City Hall and maybe brainstorm some different ideas. Rosalind is the mayor of a very large city who probably has a little bit more pull than we do. So if she has ideas, and we're always welcoming her help. And then the other one was our Mayor Don Gary was able to get with the mayor of Port Huron, and we would like to get a resolution going to help to encourage the Canadian borders to us to be able to open up to the Canadians coming across. It really impacts our economy, it's impacting our families, it's impacting our sports teams. And so we thought it would be a great idea for us to get together with other cities around the state who are also impacted, who are by representative. They have a lot of their economy right on the other side of their bridge as well. And then I've also heard that our county commission, they would like to get involved also. So we're hoping that to have that done coming up here very soon. And we'll make an announcement about it, and hopefully we can get some press going on about that. So other than that, it was a great conference. It's always great to see what other cities are doing, even though they're larger than us. They struggle with the same things. We all talk about the same things, just different dollar amounts. So we really appreciate the opportunity to be able to attend.
Great update. I'm glad you got that. So the one thing, I think it's interesting because there were over 400 people representative of local government, and it is different when you see Grand Rapids talking about, what was their budget, 550 million to ours, which is in the single millions. So it really is a little bit different on different scale, but a lot of good ideas can come out of those meetings, and a lot of good context, so thanks. Anybody else, anything? Commissioner Talentino, would you like to make the motion? Move it around
Make
tonight.
a motion to adjourn this evening.
Support.